Alan, well, it's in progress, let you know. Next, we have a vital presentation that gives us a deeper look into the successful initiative we are celebrating today. Please welcome Demetra Palaonda in the iStash project coordinator from Cyprus and Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Demetra will provide us with an iStash project overview, and it's called Advancing Sustainability Practices in Tourism and SMEs.
Thank you to all today, all the presence and as you already know, my name is Dimitra Palau. I represent the Cyprus iSpace. Very proudly steering this the last 6 months. As someone coming from an island myself, an island a bit larger than Mallorca, it's something that, we always say that Cyprus, but I always feel a sense of connection with islands. And I want to start with a little personal. My arrival. After more than 10 hours of traveling in Cyprus, I walked to Mallorca. And that's when I saw a huge poster by our partners that we are Fiscal Responsability Mallorca. The powerful pledge for responsible tourism displayed proudly at the arrivals hall of the airport. The message is so simple, so clear, and so necessary for our islands. So before we begin, I would like to invite you to scan the QR code on the screen and join Fundación's commitment to a new model of conscious, responsible, and sustainable tourism. For many businesses, sustainability can feel intimidating, a threat to the old way of working. But what have we learned in ISTAS is the opposite. Sustainability is a massive opportunity. It leads to improved operational standards. Sorry, it's the next slide, sorry. When we talk about sustainability, some still ask, is it a luxury, an optional extra, something only for the green-minded travelers? Well, the answer today is very clear. Sustainability is not a luxury, it is now a necessity. Today's travelers are informed, they know their environmental impacts, and they increasingly seek authentic accommodations. Locally led authentic experiences by the communities, destinations that protect their natural and cultural heritage. For islands like ours, where the environment and its people is our livelihood, sustainability is not a trend. It is the pathway to a resilient and competitive future. For many businesses, sustainability can feel intimidating, a threat to the old way of working. But what have we learned in ISTAS is the opposite. Sustainability is a massive opportunity. It leads to improved operational standards, better working conditions for all, for the staff, a stronger brand reputation, reduced energy and waste costs, better customer satisfaction, and importantly, innovation. The journey towards certification pushes businesses to step out of their comfort zone, to learn new things, explore new products, adopt new technologies, and even open new markets. And this is how resilience is built, not by doing more of the same, but by doing things better. Of course, transformation does not happen by magic. Tourism SMEs need financial resources, knowledge, and new skills, the right tools and gear to make sustainability possible. And this is exactly why the Ice Trust project was created, provide these missing links. One of our most powerful resources we have created is something that Alan and Maria, as well as Marco, have already mentioned, the iSCARS Virtual Library. It brings together certifications across all sectors, monitoring and performance, best practices and guidance, and innovative sustainability approaches for this field. This is not theory, this is practical, applicable that tourism SMEs can use from both in scanning virtual life. Using a monitoring system to measure and compare how the business environment, society, and the economy over time is essential for promoting sustainability and stakeholder tracking. Often the hardest step for businesses. They don't know where to or how to make it. So we created the iStart a set of 7 online self-assessment questionnaires designed exclusively to help understand where they stand, what gaps they have, and how they can step by step work together. Hello, and by training on the making findings, the analysis, production, verification, then training, address, identify among items, we have directly things. Have an estimate divided into 24 hours online during space. And that additional 6 hours, they other advice or sustainability across 5 public countries, Cyprus, Ireland, Italy, and Spain. Because SMEs don't need just tools, they need people they can trust. The pool of sustainability experts and consultants carefully recruited under the ISTAS projects is a good starting point once you decide to embark on the sustainability journey. They will guide you and offer tailor-made support to see you growing into a sustainable business. Now, let's talk about the heart of the ISTOS project, the ISTOS grant scheme, or as we already know it as FSTP. Back in July 2023, we launched our open call for applications. A total of 700,000 euros was available to be dispersed to 125 tourism SMEs for any tourism activity willing to get on board a transformation journey towards sustainability, towards good tourism. We had received 222 applications, out of which 125 were approved to embark on their sustainability journey. After 15 months of traveling on our stars, we are happy and proud to announce that a total of 123 SMEs returned back from their journey, not only safe and sound, but also transformed, just like our little camel, which is the mascot of the project, because it shows the adaptation process. They are full of experiences and are ready to share them with you later on through a video we prepared, but also in person during the last session of today's conference. So what have they done with their financial support they received? They developed comprehensive sustainability action plans customized to their own business needs in collaboration with the iStars consultants. They acquired sustainability certifications such as Travel Life, Green, Biosphere, ISO, and so on. They trained their staff on sustainable operations and customer engagement. They implemented waste reduction measures to minimize environmental impacts. They also established policies to reduce single-use plastics and promote reusable alternatives, and so many more. We are actually at the stage now that we are preparing the final report of what actually was implemented by the SMEs utilizing ISTOS plant. It will be available by the end of December, and it will be widely disseminated on our social media and press releases. Now, what does resilience actually look like? Because we all talk about having resilience and surviving after the COVID, especially for the tourism sector. Well, responses we received from the SMEs that actually implemented, they used the iStars plans. They told us that they have higher customer satisfaction. They have improved their employee morale, stronger brand reputation. They are now able to attract responsible travelers. They can manage their energy, water, and waste more efficiently. They have established deeper collaboration with local suppliers, as well as they have increased their ability to withstand seasonal demand fluctuation. Sustainability is not just for the planet, it is good for business, for workers, and good for communities. I started my speech today with a poster at my chamber airport, and I'm now closing it with another poster I recently saw in the breakfast hall of a hotel in Brussels. It is a quote by Henry Miller that says, "One's destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things." We want to believe that the iStars journey destination offered to all those involved, businesses, consultants, policymakers, and us as consortium partners, exactly this, a new way of seeing things. As islands, we share similar challenges, but also similar strengths. iStars showed us that when we combine knowledge, skills, financial support, expert guidance, and collaboration across Europe, real transformation can happen. Thank you to all the SMEs, consultants, partners, long life partners, and regional actors who made this project a success. Thank you to our donor, the European Innovation Council, and SMEs Executive Agency, ITMEA, and of course, our project officer, Mr. Alan Vela, is here with us today. Extra thanks to our Spanish partners, Mallorca Chamber of Commerce, and Fundación Turismo Responsable de Mallorca, who brought all of us together in today's event. And thank you, Mallorca, for welcoming me and for reminding all of us from the moment we step off the plane that responsible tourism is the only way ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Anetra. And now our next session focuses on how we transform theory into action within our businesses. It's my pleasure to introduce Catalina Bibiloni, a highly regarded sustainability expert from Next Biolinia. Catalina will be presenting on the crucial topic of sustainable business practices, the foundation of long-term tourism growth, where she will discuss how to rethink our day-to-day practices for truly sustainable tourism. Please welcome Catalina for those.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Catalina Binoni, and I'm an admin here. Thank you for being here, and thanks to the Cambra for the invitation. My goal today is very practical. Is how to rethink practice, to achieve a tourism that is truly sustainable. And with Biolinia, we have more than 25 years of experience in environmental and water health service, technical control, food safety and hygiene, and laboratory carries out in the biological environment. You may notice that sustainability did not appear in that at first because our department was born back in 2023. We are the youngest member of the family with some time in Italy. Our sustainability team supports hotels and destinations in so we help them with the elaboration of the plan, carbon footprint management, standardized management, water management, then as well sustainability department outsourcing, report, segregation and waste management. But let's set the stage. Tourism, as defined by the World Tourism Organization, is a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon that involves traveling outside someone's usual environment and all the activities to that. So it's not only about going somewhere else, it is a full value chain that connects accommodation, transport, restaurant, local commerce, and tourism weight is clear. Back in 2023, tourism contributed roughly 12 to 13% of Spain's GDP and around 11 to 12% of employment. After the 2020 shock, the sector not only recovered, but moved beyond pre-pandemic levels. In the Balearic Islands, this weight is even three. From January to April of 2024, 2.73 million tourists arrived, which is an increase of 7.45% regarding year to year. Looking at the April series from 2022 to 2024, we can see that Mallorca gets many of these tourists. Another key point is that Balearic Island fared farther in 2020, but bounced back faster. Since 2022, it stands above pre-pandemic level and above the national average when we talk about the GDP again. So the message is really clear. Sweden claims part of the optimism, but that strength requires us to manage the well and take care of the resources that may fall. So now a quick comparison between sustainable and unsustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism is just not being nice. It is a management model that balances dimensions: environmental, social culture, and economic. So a destination can prosper today without limiting future generations. In practice, use environmental resources wisely, respect local culture, and ensure fair fair social economic benefits across the chain. So how do we achieve this brand? That's the core of the talk today. So in a few minutes, we'll go deeper into that, into how to measure, decide, and land actions that actually work. But before that, it is also useful to name what we want to avoid. Unsustainable tourism is the reverse, a model that drains resources, overloads services, and damages natural and social heritage, leaving costs that no one assumes or correct. First sign of this unsustainable tourism comes, for example, with the water. In drought periods, restrictions such as bans on or watering patterns, add mobility and daily life. Traffic jam, the inability to program holidays and residents to stay. When visitors flow, it leads to capacity. Social externalities also bear pressure on housing and protest about overtourism. Then come hike back later more when damage to the system and the destination reputation. The approach must be federated, finding a well the ways to manage. It fits that the collection and the capacity. So, what can we do to add the word sustainable to our journey? The first step is always to measure. We have to begin by measuring because without data, everything is an opinion, and with data, we have priorities, targets, and so we have to measure what really matters. For example, electricity, fuel, water, and waste by fraction. Always, or we have to always normalize these measures per state, comparison across season, occupancy, and level by year are being fair. We have to also measure them by the area to find the biggest opportunity. For example, by buildings, by floor, including kitchen, bar, spa, and well. When it is possible, we have to take daily or even hourly reading, take this speed, and detect the trend. Then it is again just as important to measure our local impact. Therefore, we can track as well, for example, the share of suppliers that work with the circularity, the share of annual spend on local or kilometers per production, and for example, the number of collaborations that are established with local organizations, whether financially or culturally, and it is effective also to register the various indicators such as get satisfaction, how sustainability benefits are received, and also to register the workplace climate internal tools. With this system, we move from impression to evidence. We know what, when, and why, and therefore we can prioritize investment and move activities than with target and data. Here you can see an concrete example of what monitoring brings to us. We see it reduced together in one place. First, total electricity used month by month, photovoltaic production, and the share of die production in production over total use. So this is the proof that with measurement place we can move to practical action in area. So what actions can we take on different fields? Let's begin with energy. On energy, we have to keep it simple. First, again, we have to measure to save, and when it's possible, we have to do sub-meters by area, and we have to take in but this report that shows peaks and critical hours, and that information sets some set points and schedule. When it comes to lighting, we can install efficient fixtures and multi-sensor into one area. So light will only switch on when. For example, in HVAC, we can set realistic set points again around, for example, 24 or 25 degrees, and we can automate homes to avoid unnecessary. Then again, we can, for example, set some window sensors so air conditioning stops when the window opens. We can also place energy intensive services such as sauna or spa under on-demand operation. In equipment, we can release competencies with systems that are certified high efficiency models. Then we can as well add our own generation system, for example, with low photovoltaic. In our experience, solar panels can cover up to 10% of hotels and white electricity consumption. And then last but not least, we cannot forget about the guests. So always better to add some friendly, simple signage. Then it is as well very useful to change ideas with the technical team of each place because innovation often starts there. Once a maintenance lead told or suggested us matching the AC startup with shower fix since his hotel recovered heat from hot boiled waters to feed the AC cooling and aligning both curves help them recover more useful energy. This is the logic we seek, measure, prioritize, execute, and verify to cut the demand, reduce bills, and direct investment where the return is highest. So the same with water. For water, we repeat the same discipline. We have to measure, and whenever it's possible, we have to sectorize the cost. We can start with the basic in plumbing. So we have to, for example, install aerators on tap, optimize flow shower heads, and dual flush toilets, which are simple steps that can help save up many liters without any comfort. Then we can reduce some water by, for example, reducing the water that come from showers and waste bays and use them after for irrigation or cleaning. We can as well install some rainwater tanks and where it's feasible, recover the heat domestic hot water to shorten delivery times. When it comes to outdoor areas, we can program this irrigation at night. We can protect the soil moisture with mulch or biodegradable ground cover. And we have to always choose Mediterranean, when it comes to Mallorca, low use spaces and use soil moisture sensors so watering it will only happen when it's needed. In pools, we can reduce the evaporation with thermal covers, control overflow, backwash filter by pressure differential, and when the design allows it, adjust the volume to avoid excess. When it comes from the building, for example, the laundry and the kitchen can run with sufficient programs, getting the full loads, and when the products allows it, use cold or tempered water. Operationally, we can also coordinate the big consumes so they don't overlap. So we have to plan, for example, laundry operation, irrigation, or pool refills to avoid simultaneous peaks and using in low demand moments in the internal work. Again, signage to make the guests present is always very important. Then, following with fossil fuels, we keep the same approach. First, we have to measure and we have to separate uses. So we know what comes from boilers and domestic hot water, what is used in kitchen, what belongs to a generation, the internal fleet, and gardening tools. With that picture, we first optimize what we have by turning burners and the air fuel mix, cleaning head changes, insulating lines, and balancing circuits with proper purges. When there are condensing boilers, we can lower return temperatures so they really condense. And we can recover heat from chillers, flue gases, or dishwashers to pre-hot hot water. Whenever it's possible again, we have to plan to shift the high efficiency air to water heat, pumped, or again, whenever it's possible, add some geothermal solutions so we electrify head and move away from the fuel. In the kitchen, again, we can reduce dependence on fossil fuels by choosing efficient electric activity when it's possible. In the fleet, we can electrify internal vehicles such as getting some books, and we can gradually move gardening tools to battery power. To close this loop, we have to coordinate domestic hot water, or we can coordinate hot domestic production, the laundry, slow cooking, and spa with hours of high solar self-consumption or lower electricity price, because the more thermal demand we shift to renewable electricity, the less gas oil or gas is. So the same with waste generation. For waste, we start again by measure, so we can manage it better. We have to weight it by fraction. So we have to weigh organic, packaging, paper and cardboard, glass, bulky items, hazardous waste, and residuals. It is also interesting to separate them by area, covering, for example, kitchen, bar, housekeeping, maintenance office, and, for example, at the events that may be held in the hotel. In this way, we keep a weekly report to catch peaks, seasonality, and hotspots where actions will matter the most. From there, we can focus on prevention, because what does not enter does not need to be managed. We can replace single-use portions with refillable formats in amenities, for example, or in the buffet. We can buy in bulk, we can prioritize returnable packaging, and we can offer bottle refill points for our guests. Purchasing has to support reuse through foldable crates, cages, pallets, and durable tableboard rather than just disposable. Separation at source then becomes non-negotiable. So they have to be very accessible, they have to be well designed, and they have to be set in every place of the hotel or the establishment. In food waste, we have to measure by station and service, and we can prevent these losses through adjustment in mise en place, in the show cooking, or in the daily menu. When it's possible, we can valorize the remaining organics through on-site composting, and where it makes, again, whenever it's possible. If it's not, the perfect segregation has to be delivered to an external manager. Then, very important, the used oil always goes to an authorized handler, and when regulation and food safety allows it, state donation programs help to give a second life to the purpose of food. In housekeeping, we move to refillable dispensers and reusable laundry bags. We have to remove unnecessary plastics from, for example, welcome sets, and we have to offer amenity kit always on request. We have to linen programs with towels on demand, and we have to do staff training in order to help avoid discarding half-used items. All this aligns with rules in the Balearic Islands, because we have like a strict rule when it comes to single-use plastic productions, in order to separate bio-waste collection, in order to have a great traceability and higher recycle rates. So in this case, compliance becomes a natural result of daily operations. The goal, again, is very simple: less waste, best separation, and more circularity for a cleaner, more efficient operation that meets guest expectations and supports the territory. And last but not least, the social culture. Culture and community give meaning to the stay, and staff well-being sustain the whole effort. We want visitors to understand why we love this place. We want them to know our language, our dances, food, history, and festivities. So in this way, Mallorca stops being just another destination and become a place they value too. Quien te quiere te cuida. When people value a place, they take care of it. In this way, we can make that tangible by informing them from the moment of arrival with simple materials, by offering real experiences such as seasonal local food, guided visits, and visits of artisan demonstrations. And as well by making participation easy with accessible itineraries and a clear agenda of villages activities and recommended visits. In parallel, we have to take care of the team with sensible organization and real rest. Useful ongoing training by department so everyone knows what to do and why, and genuine listening and recognition through surveys with an actual feedback. A suggested channels that work and an habit of celebration our achievement. When people feel cared for and involved, service improves, turnover falls, and sustainability becomes internal. culture, an internal culture, rather than just a slogan. In this part, we have seen why tourism matters, what makes it sustainable, and what's not. How measurements turn into transformation across four operational fronts: energy, water, fuel, and waste, while control, community, and staff well-being complete the whole picture. The idea is very straightforward: less consumption and waste, more local value, and better experience for people. When we measure, train, and work as a team, sustainability stops being just a speech and becomes a competitive advantage and, above all, a responsibility we truly embrace. Thank you very much for your attention. I'll be happy to take your questions or share your experiences after everyone has already done. So thank you.
Thank you, Catalina. And now is the turn to conclude our morning presentations. We are turning our attention to the essential role of global standards and recognition. It's a great honor to introduce Luigi Cabrini. He's the chair of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. And Mr. Cabrini will be speaking on GSTC, Global Standards Reference for Sustainability Certifications, highlighting the immense power of certification in driving sustainable change across the tourism sector. Please, warm welcome to Luigi Cabrini.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation, and it's good to see some familiar here with the world's meet. So let me start right away with let's give you a picture of where we stand in international. As you all know, we're the biggest drop in international COVID. But by the end of 2024, we recovered at the global level the numbers and the income of that we had the peak of pandemic starting in 2000. And if you look already at the population data, 2025, we already recorded the first 6 months of the year a 5% increase of the same period of the highest number of people we recorded in 2000. The previous speaker was talking about Spain. I think Spain is probably set to receive 100 million. The highest number ever. So definitely the recovery was pretty strong. But as we changed, we made a lot of promise and good wishes in the pandemics that we would do things differently. Have we done so? I so. And I think the challenges to tourists today are similar, the same, or even sometimes even more tragic than they were before the pandemic. Basically, 3 groups of challenges and threats. 1 on the environment, general biodiversity, ecosystems. 2 on local identity and culture. And 3, and this is a relatively new phenomenon, but unfortunately is spreading, the negative attitudes from the local. The example of Palma and Mallorca is probably one of the best examples of where local residents are perceiving the negative impact much more strongly than the positive benefit that tourists can drive. So these are really serious threats that we have to address. On the positive side, we have Booking.com is one of our members since many years. Every year they do a sustainable travel report. And I mean, indications are quite positive, or indications that people are ready to travel more sustainably, that they want to reduce energy when they travel, that they want to have the options in hotel to recycle the waste. And even many say that when you travel to a destination which is well managed, you also have an educational impact, that if you see things well done, when you go back home, you want to apply those experiences that you have seen. So it's in this context that GSTC was created back in 2007. In 2007, I was then Director of Sustainability at the then World Tourism Organization, now called UN Tourism. And UN was a strong supporter of these organizations. We had our first office in Washington with the United Nations Environmental Program, UN Foundation that was giving us the funds for about 3-4 years. And basically within the broad framework of supporting sustainable tourism, we were focusing more on the issue of certifications, and I will elaborate more on that later. But I would say from a period of external support, I'm really pleased to say that today we have a financial independence. Our staff, we were able to grow our staff. I think we have quite good recognitions at the public and the private level of the work we do. So I personally, having been from the beginning in this organization, I'm quite happy and quite proud of what we have achieved so far. So our membership, we have, as you can see, members from all over the world. Unfortunately, Africa is not as well represented as we would like, and we try to address that. Just to have an idea of who our members are, is really a combination of, we have a private sector, many giants of the private sector. I mentioned Booking.com, but Hilton, TUI, Airbnb, Intercontinental, etc. But we also have the big NGOs like WWF. We also have somehow unexpectedly, because we thought we were mainly addressing the private sector issues, but we have over 45 governments today through the Ministry of Tourism or say tourism administrations that are members of GSCC. So they see the value, one, in using the standards as an indication, as a guide for their strategy, and two, also using the standards and accreditation, of which I will speak, more to inform their private sector. And I will mention an example about Turkey a bit later. So we've been working on standards. We started in 2008 with industry standard, basically hotel and tour operators. Then we moved to destinations. Recently, we have elaborated standards on MICE and attractions, and we're now finalizing food and beverage service providers in tourism that should be ready toward the end of this year or early next year. What are the standards? Well, we covered the traditional 4 pillars of sustainability. As you can see, we word sustainability through the expressions maximize benefits and reduce negative impact. I think this is probably the best way, because there is definitely not a perfect sustainable model, but I think it's a continuous work, continuous improvement, as we like to say, and basically striking that balance between the positive and the negative, of course, in a positive way. And so this is the way that we're wording let's say, the titles or the pillars of our standards. We have now standards that translated in over 30 languages. They are free for use, except if they're used for commercial reasons. And in that case, of course, we will require a fee. Every standard is linked to one or more of the sustainable development goals. So we'll say perfectly in line, I think, with other initiatives in driving sustainable tourism. The process is quite complex. We're using the ICL code, which is the code for all, say, sustainability or working on sector working on sustainability. So we have first identified the need for certain group of standards. And then we have an expert group, we prepare a first draft, we have a public consultations, we go back to the group, we elaborate, we go back for a second consultation. What we want is that the standards should not be just the work of a group of experts, but should represent a consensus about what should and should not be doing in the various segments that I mentioned to you. So in general, it takes from 6 to 10 months to elaborate a full set of standards and to be able to publish it. What are the use of it? Training is one main use. You can see we get training on various areas, on MICE, on destinations, and we have training in 19 languages. We have a network of trainers all over the world. Last year, we had thousands, mostly online. So essentially, you can see the combinations of Then we use it for the destination program. We like very much the concept of destination stewardship. Let's say someone taking care of the destinations with a DMO and other similar body that takes responsibility for sustainable management of destination. We have a working group every year. We publish a report of best practice that we use destinations. And then we do what we call destination assessment, which is done for about 45 destinations now, which is basically through a group of our experts providing the destinations with the diagnostic or where do they stand in terms of sustainability compared with the different standards. And that usually then concludes with the recommendation for a roadmap. Let's say if up to 42 standards, 20 are met, 10 are partially met, so 10 are not met, but we will provide a roadmap for now to increase and to include that balance. Let's say the main what I would say distinguish us from other organizations working on sustainability is what we call the GSCC assurance for tourist stakeholders and certification bodies. What it is, we do certification programs that voluntarily approach us. We provide, let's say, two services. One is the recognitions, where we basically assess the content, the letter, I would say, of their standards, and we conclude whether they adhere, they contain all the basic elements that are included in the GSCC standards, and if so, we grant the recognition status. And then we do accreditation service for certification bodies. That is all looking not only at the standards, but in particular at the procedures, the auditing, et cetera, or now they do actually certify, separation of consulting from certification, for example, et cetera. As you can see, this accreditation is also quite intensive assessment. There is an application, a visit, then we look at number of documentations. We witness, one of our experts witness physically an audit being conducted by one of these certification bodies to ensure that they follow the international recognized practice. And then we have an accreditation committee, which is independent from the secretariat. And I think we believe that also very important to ensure that then the decision is impartial and is not biased by any influence that could come from the GSCC secretariat. So basically, I say standards. So I would say a definition of standards is document that provides requirements or guidelines that can be used consistently to ensure that tourist business or destinations meet sustainability goals. And then I just mentioned, I won't waste your time in reading the other definitions, but basically it's important that distinction between accreditation and certification. There is often some confusion about the issue that GSCC certifies directly. And we use the term GSCC certified is a short for saying that an hotel on a destination has been certified by certification body accredited by GSCC. So when you say GSCC certified, this is what we mean. So certification is not accreditation. What is the advantage for an hotel or a tour operators is that when it is certified by an accredited body, they could use both the logo of the certification body and the GSCC logo and can enter one of our market access program. For example, Booking.com flag with the green sign, those hotels were certified by GSCC certified. Today, these are the certification bodies that are accredited. On the left, you see on accommodations, hotel accommodations and tour operators. On the right, on destinations. Recognitions with a much higher number. That's indicate to you a bit the complexity and the difficulty to reach the other level. But we hope that numbers will increase. Let's say today, this when we started GSCC, we counted over 200 certification system in tourism. First, quite a big confusion. Second, sometimes a bit of lack of credibility about the validity of the claims that we were making. So our purpose is basically both to strengthen the existing certification bodies but actually work seriously, and to expand. We had, for example, the control union organizations that were not working in tourism, and they started working in tourism because we offered a framework that they found consistent and recognized at international level. Because another point is that while there were so many certification bodies, the percentage of products certified in tourism was extremely low. 2-3% compared to 30-40% of, for example, wood or coffee, where there were much less certification bodies. So this is one of the points that with our work we try to address. So I mentioned before the example of Turkey, or Turkey as now they like to be called. Now, Turkey entered 3 years ago an agreement with GSTC, where it's mandatory for all the hotels in Turkey to be GSTC certified. And we're talking about 20,000 hotels. As of today, 2,000 have been already certified. And about 12,000 or 13,000 are already at stage 2. They follow this pattern of the 3 stages. First stage, hotel has to comply with at least 30% of the standards, then 70%, and then 100%. You cannot expect everyone to be certified on day 2. So they keep track of all these. A number of the auditors have been trained by GSTC. They also do some certification system, both national and international. And I think for us, this is really it's an excellent example of a country with power into like historic, as very mandatory at a cost. Because of course, that's a cost, because in terms of money. But I think they realize, they believe that this will actually then will be an element of strength of the brand of the country itself. 2 more things. We have now in our web a directory of all the hotels which are necessary. So someone wants to travel or wants to stay in the state of California, and then we have done very recently a survey on hotels that have been certified, see whether the certification actually met their expectations. And I think the results were quite positive because, for example, 75% says that they were happy that GSTC certification expanded well beyond environmental issues, social, economic, management issues. So they realized that very important at the bottom left, see that 35% of total revenue is one of the big issues of certification. Certification as a cost, and a good certification has probably a higher cost. So many ask, well, why am I doing that? So I would say the fact that over the third reports revenue and that almost half observed a cost reduction. I think this is, to me, is also very powerful indications of the value of certificate. So concluding, tourism has been down in the growth only 2 or 3 times in the last 70 years. One was the SARS, where the biggest drop pandemic. But then, as I mentioned before, we recovered it. But as I also said before, the challenges remain the same. So what are, in my view, the element that can make a difference? Political leadership and courage, because it's not always easy to say, let's limit the number of tourists because my island or my destinations will stand to benefit more if we space them or often it's not easy because vision and commitment from the private sector. I would say that with the big giant members of the organization, pretty confident that many of them understand that even for their own interests, if they want to be in business in 20, 30, 40 years from now, they need to maintain, the destinations and the communities at I would say at a level does not continue to take. Higher responsibility from travelers, another element. And finally, the empowerment of local communities. It's one of our key issues. So what we do is that we try to offer some solutions and to provide some tools, as I just quickly mentioned in our presentation. So that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Luigi. And now I have two good news and one bad news. The bad news is that we are a little bit over time, so run a little bit from now on. And the good news is that we are not going to give it anymore. From now on, will be Carlos presenting. And the second good news is that we have the coffee break. It's going to be 30 minutes. So please, in 15, 20 minutes, come back. So it's 40. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sacando nada.
No, en principi tothom ha acabat de cridar.
Bueno, pues,
Total, totalidad. Mauricio, ¿conoces a Ana Carlos? Desde Cambra de Comerç. Super.
Saps què passa? Que he duit la presentació amb els comentaris de moderador. I ara resulta que no és molt viable perquè no... Clar, però no ho puc fer. A la volta següent muntaré aquí la presentació i
Vale.
intentaré seguir-la des d'aquí, canviant de diapositiva i tenir l'opció aquí.
Com vols.
Complicat, però bé. No, ja està.
Maratón. ¡Qué maratón!
Que no sé si tindré acudir. Sembla que sí.
Que és 83%. Sí? Sí, 83%.
El que no tengas internet.
Sí, jo també em submistiu. Amb el Wi-Fi?
Yeah, no, the part.
No, el password, però...
Don't worry.
No, no tengo.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I understand you. I do the same. No, I'm living in
The question-
our
I am sure. You with me?
Panas? Sorry. Sorry.
Yes. This- A las dos.
Cámara?
Mayúscula, minúscula.
Mayúscula. La primera.
Es cámara internet 01.
Sí.
Internet amb la 1.
Hello. We can start, please. You take the seats, please.
I fully. There, yeah. I know, I just came. I'm supposed
You
to-
so kind to sit, please.
That it's going to finish, but I Professor Palermo economics, and also I am president of the Islands Observatory for Tourism. based in-
You're seeing our Cathedral of Insularity?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay,
Can
interesting.
we share numbers and then I will be in contact with you? because
Sure, sure.
We organize Islands Conference every year. And we did in Corsica this year. But next year. is-
Sorry to bother you, but please, if you're so kind to sit.
34, 3, 4, and 6, 2, 9, 7.
No se olge, posa una pistola.
8, 5.
Hello to everybody. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. Now we continue with the second part of the meeting or the event. And before giving the floor to the SMEs for the panel discussion, I would like to give the floor to Maurici. He's the senior lecturer of the Geography Department and director of the Geotechnology Center of the University of Balearic Islands. He will speak about investing in people, upskilling, and reskilling for a sustainable future. Thank you, Maurici, for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that I have made a little change of my presentation, not specifically this title. I have adapted this title. Sorry, because I am a really hurry because I have at the same time a seminar, maybe 200 meters from here, in the chair of insularity. We have in our community, this is a chair financed by the regional governor of the Balearic Islands. Is a chair of insularity, and today we have developing a seminar specifically focused on the natural risk in the European islands. And so we have many presentations, and I am the coordinator, so I am going to be here only 20 minutes as I promised to the coordinator. So for me, good morning, everybody. For me, it's a pleasure to be here because it's the opportunity to present a work that we are finishing with the Sustainable Tourism Observatory of Mallorca inside of the Fundació Turisme Responsable de Mallorca. We are a team of the University of the Balearic Islands working specifically in smart tourism, relating with many areas, economics, geography, environmental issues, and marine and blue literacy. So all the topics related with tourism, I think Mallorca is all tourists. So we are working in this topic, but involving tourists. So I am going to explain you some things related with the work that we have done in the last, in order to change this, because I have some kind of comments in my presentation, and the system is not possible to do that. So I think that this presentation will be fully aligned with the broader theme of this conference, because we understand that the professional face a dual transition. One is the environmental and the other is the technological. The green transition requires skills and reduce impacts and adapt to climate change, while the digital transition calls for the adoption of data-driven tools and a smart system. So I think that in this case, we are going to have general view of the Balearic Island, the Balearic Island, of Mallorca Island, involves in the work of the development of a study on a report of the state of the art of the sustainability of the Balearics. So why Mallorca? I think that other island, maybe you are coming from other island, we are a laboratory, that's like an island, and Mallorca represent a unique case of the study. With this intense tourist pressure and rich environments, it offers both critical challenge and innovation opportunities. We identify specific skill gaps in environmental fields like water, energy, waste management, and social aspects such as stakeholder engagement and heritage protection and in digital innovation. Moreover, professionals must develop system thinking and change management capabilities to lead integrated solution. So this is the way where we want to work. Sorry, because I need to be connected with the two. Yes. So we are going to work to talk about the Tourist Sustainable Observatory Assessment Report for 2024 that we have been working the last months. And specifically, the report that we have worked have three central objectives. First, to track the evolution of sustainable indicators across the three pillars, environmental, social, and economic. And second, to provide a database inputs to improve strategic decision-making for both public and private sectors. And a third objective, to assess the progress made towards sustainability goals, identifying successfully practice and critical gaps for action. This is the typical areas when we are working with sustainability that usually we work: the environmental profile, the social profile, and the economical profile. Also, probably others like governance and so on, but these are the more common. So the first step, we are going to talk about environmental sustainability, analyzing different indicators that we have checked at the Balearic Island, try to define with the findings will help to planning and decision-making for more sustainable future. So we are going to make some kind of analysis of different indicators. These are the more fresh indicators because we have obtained it in the last months, and it will be interesting. So one of the first is related with water. The water consuming and population evolution. This slide introduces one of the most critical environmental aspects of Mallorca, water management. Despite a population growth of nearly 40% since 2000, overall water consumption has remained relatively stable, indicating improved efficiency in resource use. Per capita consumption has declined over time, reflecting better technology, public awareness, and efforts by the hospitality sector. You can see the effect, a little effect of the COVID. Here we have the population evolution. You can see that there is a very important increase of population from 2000 until 2002, with this data from the national government. And we can see that this is absolutely more than linear. So we have to combine the increase of people at the island, the residents, and also really, I forgot to they increase the people of the island, and to combine these people with the tourists that we have to say. Another kind of analysis with water is the consumption of water. We have detected that the tourists represent one of the major share of total water demand. Data for this observatory shows that the tourists in 5 star hotels consume an average of nearly 600 liters per day. So what about that 140 liters per day used by residents? So this is an important thing to be considered when we are the impacts of the environment. So another kind of approach to the water use is the use of recycled and reclaimed water. So this is a strategic component in Mallorca because it has been an increase between 2015 and 2021. The total volume of recycled water maintains stable But in the last year, the water is reused, it's more reused in agriculture and golf course, while urban gardens have been declining. Expanding recycled water because people can play a key role in maintaining the sustainability. Right here, this is in municipal solid waste generation, we have another kind of landscape. From 21 to 24, the municipal solid waste generation takes up approximately 6% of all, and per capita waste grows about 38%. The seasonal nature tourist drives that summer peaks that exceed 6 million kilograms per month. So this is one of the real challenges that we have. The distribution of this consume is concentrated along the coast, particularly in municipalities with the highest tourist density. Palma generates the largest absolute volume, but also smaller towns in the coast also creates. If we analyze the evolution of the waste generation per type, we can see we have also some kind of seasonally. So we have now the organic waste packaging and glass show increase from May to September, and then falling drastically when this is talking about energy. Mallorca and Mallorca are heavily dependent on mainly petroleum and natural gas, while the connection with the mainland Spain provides some the share of renewable energy is still. The final energy for the year. With renewable energy island, the evolution of that across the Balearic Island shows a steady increase from 5% to 12%, mainly due to the expansion of the photovoltaic. Here is the emission of pollutant type, the composed gas emission, continuing dominating the pollution confined to Balearic Island, representing 99% of total pollutants. Emissions declined strictly during demand height. You can see the COVID impact also, pandemic, but automatically finish. We have had also some kind of open activity giving insight to the tourist business, specifically in energy. And we have between 21 and 2024 more than 9 million. We have increased about 9.6 million were granted in energy trade. So there is a very important activity given subsidies from the government to the bottlers. The climate action, the Balearic government has intensified pollution monitoring, provided incentive to reduce oil, fossil oil dependency, and supported sustainability certification for accumulation. Biodiversity protection, Mallorca continues to expand its network of protected natural spaces and marine conservation. Monitoring of marine environments, flora, fauna has improved, and UNESCO biosphere range and special protection areas now cover significant proportion of this area. Despite this advanced pressure from tourist infrastructure and cost of the funding is strong compared to the required. So this is another we have little bit developing these indicators. stay. So in this case, it's the marine ecosystem health indicator, and we can see that we have a little loss of the level of quality of this indicator, because the development of new activities, marine activities affecting Posidonia seagrass and biodiversity. And here we have also activities related with protected species conservation. The evolution of flora and fauna has been positive. So we are in a fragile environment, but the protection activities maintain the level of quality of protected species. We have a very big problem related with road congestion. The pressure generated by residents, tourists, focusing the road congestion, and explain the traffic peaks aligned with the high season and weekends when airport arrivals and coastal transfer intensity. So connection. Another about the ability to reduce passengers by islands. We can see that there is a concentration of the different islands. This concentration stabilizes the connectivity, but increases the vulnerability to schedule change and pricing by a few players. For sustainability, these concentrated flows intake clustering, overrounds, and synchronized ground access peaks. So this is not a very good thing. This is another thing related with arrivals, chartered and scheduled flights. This is also, when we compare it, it's clear the dominance of the scheduled service. Sí. Ah, vale. So this is a scheduled flights, and this is number of passengers at Johnson John by month, and you can see that the pronounced seasonal pattern sharp increase from the late spring to early autumn, and the market also in winter down. This is the arrival for people from passengers. This is the passengers of the port by month. In this case, American. This is a very good question. What is the with the government, the people that arrive to Mallorca, the amount of flyers, they belong, these competence belong to the AENA company, the AENA of the airport, and AENA, the national government controls the management of the airport. The port, I think, this is a very good question. Probably the key to facilitate that happen. Are the islands. Yes. So here is the cruiser ships. I think increasing, but now in the last year there is some kind of regulation to the number of activities. This is
was a specific regulation. Maybe you are here now in this area of Palma. Point, usually communicating with group. And related with social sustainability, we are going to go very, very fast now. Local satisfaction with tourists. I think these are very important things, you know, because the analysis of our survey developed by the Agency of Tourism of the Balearic Islands from 2016 to 2024 reveals a significant decline in resident satisfaction with tourists. In 2016, 49 of residents agreed with tourists, but this declined from 27.5 by 20. Yes, from 2024. So there is a reduction of the satisfaction of people that are living in Mallorca in relate with tourism. So we have relate. So the government's the sustainable tourist tax has generated significant funding for sustainable projects. However, it is crucial to strengthen community participation mechanism in tourist decision making. Public and private coordination must be reinforced to ensure all the stakeholders contribute meaningfully to sustainable objectives, and that tourist development reflects community values and priorities. So also accessibility is a progress. We are working to an accessible tourist infrastructure and inclusive services. And also it's a priority to expand the ITS projects, the impact to improve the community well-being and heritage protection. So I think this is some kind of indicators related with economy, employment conditions. It's more or less the same level. We have not observed a very strong impact with this indicator. This is also heritage and cultural tradition. We have make an inventory of different heritage and traditions that could be conserved at the Mallorca. And we have to take this number and analyzing what are big. In this case, the number of financed projects related with heritage projects has been increased in the last years. So you have seen that we have this kind of activity start in 2016, but now it's also increasing. According, another interesting thing would be the life condition of the local population. Related with that, we have seen that it's important the poverty risk, 15% in 2024, showing significant improvement from previous years. These positive trends reflects economic recovery post-pandemic and improved social policies. However, this picture still represents that poverty is included in our tourist destination. So another very big problem is related with housing affordability. So about 10 years of income required for purchasing housing, showing a slight declination in the last year, but remains one of the main concerns of the Balearics economy. Another kind of things is the evolution of value. This is increasing. It's valorable group. Another could be the evolution of net income family. The income is increasing, but finally it doesn't arrive to everybody. The share of the income, so the regional level is not good. This is the house price index that we have had in the last 10 years or 15 years. You can see that the tendency is absolutely the increase of the value of the houses, and it's very complicated for young people to arrive to. I think it's a general problem. So we have many comments about the economical sustainability here, but I think maybe you have more information about me about economical sustainability, but I want to finish. I have some indicators here
like for example, in this case, tourist arrivals, traveling by month, occupancy rate by bed, travel objective of people, employment in tourism, we can see that it's inflation in the last year. This is registered unemployment, is down low the last year, so we have good way that. This is social security accumulation. This is the average salary of tourist sector with the image. You can see more or less the behavior of this economy of these indicators. This is the economic benefits of Mallorca, always related with tourism. These are some kind of information about the foreign tourist expenditure. These are innovation, development. So we have finally some kind of recommendations talking the study. It's a very short comments about environmental. I think that more you are according with that. We need to accelerate the renewable energy transition. We can continue with 75% of fossil fuel dependency, integrate climate risk into the planning decision, adaptation, and reduce try to don't reduce the agriculture land uses, and many others recommendations in the terms of social sustainability. We must enhance genuine community participation to this planning, not just consultation, but real decision-making power, improve employment conditions through better wage, more stable contracts and career development opportunities, and protect cultural heritage, but ensuring we support rather than commodities of local culture. And economical sustainability, our priorities, we think that are reduced tourist seasonality through targeted marketing and product development, strengthen innovation capacity through R&D investment and technology adoption, and promote sustainable mobility to reduce traffic congestion and environmental. So finally, to show you two flashes about the work that we are working in our research group. We are working, in this case, integrating high frequency and GIS. We are working with people that are moving to Palma, locating inside mobile phone, and try to detect what could be indicators of congestion and roads in Palma. Another word that we have to work is with data, the exposition of tourists. Habitat and fuels that could be affected by natural risks like floods, like fire, and others. And also, we are also working really the increase of the price of the rent of the houses, and the relation of the income of the people, the residents, try to increase of this kind of. Another work is related to the land use changes in the Balearic Islands. What is the evolution of the down so I propose, if you are interested also working with that. Yes, this is the cathedral when we have some tools to be used to detect, to analyze the behavior of the different islands. Also, we have working with some kind of companies. We have developing some kind of environment. Areas because this company has a very good sensibility to be involved in with the residents and to be involved protect the environment that the relationship between the hotels with all the area. And specifically, I want to finish with this project. This is the deploy tour project, and we have working now with a solution, that we are working to create with the creation of a common European tourist data space. We are trying to work with public administration and companies in order to share data between us to take decisions related with tourism, but not only for governments but and planners, but also for companies that want to get value from the data that they have. So I invite you, if you have interest, to enter to this deploy tool, maybe you can at the web, and here you have the possibility to be involved like a stakeholder, and it will be a good opportunity to share with you our knowledge in order to involve you in our activities. So sorry for this very accelerated presentation. I have need to be in the other side. Thank you very much. I think that you have my email if you want to think, and I will be open for you and give you all the support that you need. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maurice. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and we really appreciate that you make some space on your busy agenda. Okay. So now it's time for the SMEs. Our main guests here, as Chamber of Commerce, we love to work with you. So for this SME experience panel, from theory to practice, we would like our SMEs, the SMEs of the island project, to tell us how they have embraced sustainability, certification, and skills development. For that, I really appreciate if two of our companies, Marugal Hotel Management and Castells on Claret, Mallorca, that comes to the table. And of course, to my colleague, Lucia Moderna, who Goberna, who will who will moderate this panel session. She will explain how it works because we want to make like a pack of 3 different things to in this SME panel. Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Carlos, for the introduction. So I'm Lucia Goberna, and I'm here from the house from the Mallorca Chamber of Commerce. And this is the last panel, and we're going to make it a bit interactive. So first of all, our goal today is to translate what is the sustainability theory into what have been real impact on the soil, and through concrete initiatives that can certifications and skills development. You have heard that iStars have granted more than 125 companies, but through direct financial sources, but it has impacted many more through the monitoring, the tools that are online, and many more that will come. So today, of course, we can't have all them here. And to that end, what we have prepared is a short video for you to zoom out to see the experiences first from a wider range of 17 companies from 5 different countries. And then we'll zoom in with our roundtable moderation with them today. But let's first start with the video projection, if possible. Yeah, thank you. And also quickly, I want to greet the online participants. I've been told there are more than 20 people online, so hello from here as well.
So, well, thank you very much to the communication colleagues that have, and to all of the partners that have put this video together. I think it gave a good idea of the wider range of SMEs that have participated in the program, and also of the many initiatives that have been taking place. And I mean, I can see many reflected that Catalina talked this morning. So there are many things in there. So what I want to do now is a bit to zoom in. So we've seen different companies, but we are pleased today to have two of them, of the Spanish SMEs that participated in the program. I'm really pleased to present you to Maria Rondon. She's the Sustainability and Regeneration Manager at Marugal Distinctive Hotels Management, and she will introduce us to the initiative developed by La Cambra Hotel in Andalusia. Good morning, Maria. And also we have Annette Andersen, who's the Director of Sales, Marketing and Communication of Castell de Son Claret here in Mallorca. And believe me, if you look at their websites, you would really want to know much more than what we're going to look today and experience it firsthand, because they're really amazing places. So I would like to start by asking a bit about the companies you represent, so we get a bit the scenery of what we're talking about. So maybe Maria, if you could start, please. No?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I represent Marugal, which is a hotel management company specializing in small luxury hotels. Our value is to keep the essence. I have to continue, please? No, it's okay. I think it's too close, this one.
No? Maybe it's that one. Or no,
Our value is to keep the essence of the local culture, give a very high quality experience to our clients, and take care of the return of the investment. And this is like our 3 points of the business. We are here because we have been part of the E-Stars program with La Cambra, which is not an Iceland hotel, but we wanted to do like a lab with a small scoop, which was how about to take a new product, which was how can we make a real positive impact events. So we will talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's already mentioned, I'm from Castell de Son Claret. It's a privately owned, individually run hotel, so very small. And what we wanted to do with the iStart funding, because we are very creative and we're very good with all the actions and activities, but to get it all in a nice square and to measure it and to be able to report out what we actually have done has been our struggle. So we have actually used the funds to support us in achieving sustainability certification. So to get us on the road towards achieving this.
Perfect. So if I may take a step back, when you started your sustainability journey with the iStars program, what were the initial necessities that you mentioned it a bit, but maybe you can give it a bit farther, like what made you act and react to work on sustainability?
We already had implemented the basic that everyone's not about sustainability, but we needed a push and we need resources to do a zoom in this scope that I already told it. So we had the help from the consultor with a Wash Ethico. So it has been very nice working with them because you have like one external resource that have all the time to have like a look inside the company from outside. So it was nice to work together and have this opportunity to do it in a faster time, because maybe we could do it, but it will take a year. But because we have like many priorities, but in this case, there was a company which was working with this priority. So we got this product in a very short time, in a couple of months.
Thank you. So it helped you to concentrate all the effort and the time
Yeah.
to just build it out. And for you, Annette, what has the certification meant for you? Because this is a big process. We've seen it today, but it has lots of implications, right? It's not only the paper. What?
I don't know, we are running a little bit under time pressure, but I actually would like to go like a step before I start.
Perfect.
And I don't remember the year that we banned plastic in the Balearic Islands. Was it in 2018?
2018, and then we had like because of the COVID, we had to stop it for 2 years, and then it was mandatory.
So there is like a break. Well, I come from the communication and marketing side, and I'm not an engineer and I'm not expert at sort of sustainability, but I have just arrived to here out of somehow need, because I still remember the meeting back in 18 where our bar manager said, we now have bamboo straw, put it on the website. And as the months were going, this website, and you know, scroll time is really against your sales, being from so we were just like, our website was just getting longer and longer. And then, so it's like, but does that really make any sense? Does that people, at the end of the day, from a commercial point of view, we want to just sell rooms. Does that really help to convert, to have these long web pipes with every time one of our creative, great team, they come up with an action. So then now we start talking about, we need to try to do something as a privately owned individual run hotel. We work on our value proposition in various ways. We are a member of leading hotels of the world, which kind of put you on the map. We are very focused on gastronomy. We have achieved things within the Michelin Guide. So in terms of sustainability, how could we position ourselves so we become something in that instead of just this long list on the web page? And we don't really know the impact and what we're saving because it's just this listing. And that's where we started to talk about certification. And we are very ambitious people. So we also thought, well, let's get not a local one, let's get something international in line with leading hotels of the world. At the same time, leading also started to talk about a project called Sustainability Leader. And then we decided, okay, let's go for it. And then we, that was in 2022 after the pandemic. And at the same time being busy trying to get your hotel into running and focusing operations. So, oh, that's great. Let's get this certification in and start doing it. And then we realized, oh God, this is very hard to balance out with your daily operation. And then I actually started doing some sustainability courses. And one of the trainers was Maria. And I met her in a networking event and she said, Annette, do you know there are some funds around focusing on Ireland? I say, no, tell me more. And here we go. We arrived here. And with the funding, we could then get a consultant in that basically first, and I'm looking at him here, first meeting, he set us down in a meeting room with no phones. So, wow. And he got out a flip chart and made like a square, and we started putting it into boxes in order to start moving forward and to get like a roadmap. And this is really basically what iStar helped us. And then having the consultant on board, we also has used his skills and knowledge in sustainability matters to train the staff. Because I don't know how many of you are working in hotels. They're so fed up with the lady from marketing. You know, it doesn't really bring much. And then you come along with your training and your big ideas and all these forms they have to fill in and the data they need to deliver. It's not really a thing, but that we try to really get the maximum out of the investment. And this is really what the iStar Fund has helped us on to get on the road track and to work towards this certification and to have a consultant that say, hey, it's part of your daily operation. You need to allocate time, because this is another thing that we need to respect, that is a job, is a work, and to allocate resources. And this is something that we learned through that. And to be honest, I think we would not have made this move if we would not have got the push from the fund. It just came in the moment where we were like, nah, you know, it's too much bother. And then, okay, great, someone will do it for us.
So I got you started, but in practical terms, what have been the main implications for your daily work? Have you focused more on energy, on water, on?
So in the square that I mentioned
Mhm.
before, and for business, a hotel, the focus is also water, energy, and waste management. So these are the starting points. And again, also with different kind of fundings that we have, our own solar panel is account for 25 to 30% of our energy. Water is still a challenge with being an old finca and the, how you say, the water tubes underneath your building, you don't know exactly where they are. And when you are losing excessive amount of water, you have to kind of dig up the whole finca a couple of times a year, which is also a complication and costly. But then where there is the best example and where I want to arrive is the waste management. Because for a long time, our very dedicated chef, they said it's impossible for us to separate general waste and organic waste. On top, it looks the same. But then we managed to separate general waste from organic waste. And in the first year we did was in 24. And believe it or not, after the season, because we also invested in measure, so we have some electronic, or how you say, digital measurements. We bridge the digital development also. So I every day can go and see when Cambra dos Mil has been there to pick up our waste and see how much we threw out. But just in 9 months, we managed to take out 33 tons of organic waste or general waste. And the people from Cambra dos Mil that normally would pick up our general waste, we've been basically for 10 years fighting with them because they say it's too much and it's too messy and so this was like a constant battle. And by starting to separate, so there's the, now I say, black bins and the brown bins. And then we joined also because a compost project at the same time, Tirme, which is our local waste initiation company. They have a project with a company called Circulare and a software called Finhaven, where you then can bring all your 33 tons of organic waste into the project, and they produced 10 tons of compost. And then, you always need to have your chef happy. So when he achieved a Michelin star in 20C, we say, we're not only going to drink, we're going to celebrate it, and we're going to go back. I think we talked about this also, to grow the land. And we didn't mention this before. What is special for Castells and Claret is that we still have 132 hectares of land. So we started to grow a garden. And of course, with our compost produced for what the chef he threw out, he can now go and pick up as a tomato or a plant. And we were actually yesterday just evaluating this season garden production, and we have produced 2 tons of products. And then, not being really conscious all the time what we were doing, we already realized after just looking at the bare piece of land in 23, like, oh God, that's hard. It's not for hoteliers. So we have a local organization called SMEs that they work with young people, or but also you can be old, basically, that have functionality disabilities, and they have already a garden product. So they came in and start running it. So we also have a connection to the local environment. We are creating jobs to people that maybe would struggle, and they are expert in these matters. And we have a lot of projects. So we managed to bridge that also. So for me, this is a project that we can measure in terms of numbers, because we have the values for the waste, we have the value from the compost and the emission that we have reduced. And actually, when you deliver 33 tons of organic waste, you reduce emission equaling 11 trees. And to put that in context, we have 200 olive trees. So, we just planted 11 more trees, to honor that thing. So that's really the thing. Like, the actually certification is like more the
Yeah.
boring part, and then we have a lot of projects going on that I could talk the whole morning.
So it's pretty amazing how it all started and how it's
Yeah.
developing. And this is just waste management. I guess there are many more things. I also wanted to ask Maria, because she briefly mentioned that they developed the positive impact events. If you could elaborate a bit more on that, because this is actually very innovative as well. So maybe can you tell us through?
What we have done is first have an analysis with numbers of where we have the impact, what are the risks, and then we sit together with the direction and the property and say, okay, we can change from risks to opportunity in this part, in this part, in this part, this part. Then we need this invest, or we have all these expenses, and the return will be this and this and this, because we always have very close contact with the properties. So we always have to traduce everything that we do also in the sustainable business as economic one entity. So we took every part of the value chain from the start, from the clients arrive up to the clients are in their homes and receive funds in from us, reminding and giving thanks. From the start to the end, and see all the materials, the origin, the suppliers, talk with the suppliers, have fun with them, choose the sustainable ones, help them to be more sustainable, then make a product aligned to all our goals, because in the paper you can't tell everything you want, but you have to make that real. So our experiences in all our hotel are very, very sustainable. So you feel it, you smell the sustainability. We don't need to say we are sustainable hotel and we do this and this, because you feel it when you are inside our hotels. But in this case, we wanted to convince and give evidence that sustainability can be also profitable. And that was like my big objective with this. And we got it. We finished with the implementation in March. From March up to now, we have sell 5 different groups with these positive impact events. These clients were very big companies that wasn't choose our model if we didn't have this solution, because we at the end we give also like informe, a report with all the positive impact. So we show the evidence and we give to them the work done, let's say, and they are part also of the design, because we have like a small meeting before the groups arrive to show all the compromise and ask them to be compromised also with us, with the same goals, let's say. One very nice thing that I like a lot is that this hotel is in Malaga. Malaga have their own tool to do the calculation of the carbon footprint for tourism. It's specific for tourism. You only have to put the nights and where you come from, and it gives you a value. Yeah, they did is certificated this process, so it's okay. And all the projects that are inside are local projects that have been registered in Miteco, which is the national company, the national entity that verifies these projects. So what we have done is say, okay, let's see what are the what we have on this post, and let's collaborate together. We don't need to make a new tool. Let's use this one. So what we have done is calculate our footprint for our events, use their, not the calculation, but the system to compensate the absorptions, the emissions, sorry. So it's have a very nice project. We work with them and we also sign an agreement with Red Cross. We give like a donation for every person that participate in these events to one program, which is recuperate a local special local tree, which calls I would tell you.
Funny name. Yeah.
It
had a funny name.
Yeah, I don't remember now,
No,
but I will say it.
local tree.
Yeah, a local tree. So the thing, there were some difficulties around all this because for me it's also important all the social things that we can do around sustainability, not only the environmental. So for the hotels, like our hotels that are like luxury hotels, it's not easy to like work with inclusion or these kind of things, these kind of topics. So what we do is like we choose suppliers that strongly work with social inclusion. So it's the way that we can we have a positive impact and give back what we receive.
And that's actually, I wanted to ask about it, but I'm really happy you brought it up because prior to meeting here, we had a conversation and this topic of this touristic destination, taking care of it, appeared. But also today, like you talked about the tourism ecosystem, tourism destination stewardship. So I wanted to ask you a bit, if you could elaborate a bit more about the importance of having these networks, these connections, and also how the protection of the land, in a way, has come for both of you as a natural part of this project.
Yeah, well, I think I gave the example already before with Maria.
Yeah.
And also we have been going to some different workshop that has been on the island, and I come, as I said before, from the sales world where we talk about competition and the competitor set. And then I actually learned about collaborators and do the things together. So I think it's a very strong thing. Just like, you know, this morning you said 3 words and I was like, oh yeah, we want that. So it's all about sometimes also when you run a business and you do your daily job to get out, talk to people. On the island of Mallorca, we have a real leader in sustainability, which is the Garden Hotels. It's a big chain, and it's very unusual that with this product, the 4-star product that is normally very focused on finance, that they have taken really that, and we can thank them for a lot of the things and the inspiration we are doing as a smaller hotel. We are trying to copy, but it meant, for example, that was the compost project is something that has been grown out of their business. So networking, participating, things like that is very important, because with sustainability or regeneration or whatever we're going to call it, actually I like to call it a change of leadership style. It's really not about the web page and the straw. It's that we decide to run our business in a different way, where we focus on financial result, but that we also create something more than that. And just to come back, when you do your electricity and water and waste better, you save lots of money, like so much money that you cannot, it's like a huge impact. And when you have small businesses, that's really important. So I think networking is really what you need to grab. This is what I wanted to say, because we didn't mention that before when we have prepared this a little bit. So Maria, you mentioned also the legal part, and maybe you, Maria,
about the garden hotels.
Yeah.
They started in 2015 for the compost to try, and it was illegal.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it. So we had to accompany them to fight and to convince the public administration to let them try it. And when during the years it was a success, and now
you
there's
can.
other hotel chains, but sometimes the legal framework has to facilitate all that.
But that's also sometimes when you work with your owner, that, you know, traditionally maybe you just look at the P&L, and then you say, well, according to the new law, because we didn't mention this anywhere in this moment, I said about the plastic law, and then in 22 came the new Balearic Island, and also EU came in with the greenwashing. And that when you're in marketing and you want to do stuff, the greenwashing law is great, because the GM is saying, well, just put it on the web. And then you come with this. Yeah, so that was really a help. I forgot the question now.
No,
Anyway.
no, it's okay. Because also you answered many of the questions that I had, like from your intervention now. I take that your takeaways. I think that was a very good one. So maybe Maria, I'm not maybe final round just because there are also people online that I want to give space. Maybe if you want to talk about the tourist destination or maybe the takeaways that you want the audience to, you know, some food for thought for us, or maybe if you would go back, would you do something differently? Like when you started this journey, whatever, you pick whatever you want.
I won't do anything different. I think what we try to do is put it's like a píldora, like a pill, like a medicine, like a chip inside the mindset of each person that work in our company. Without that, it's impossible to do nothing. That's looking inside. And then about the alliance, I think for sustainability, I think it's the moment to stop talking or speaking or using the speech about do the route to change, to transformation, we are late. We don't need more transformation. We have to done these checklist points. And it's impossible to do it alone. You have to do it with alliances. Alliances with public entities, alliances with other companies, sharing the knowledge. That's why, like, for me, it was a pleasure when she told me, we got it, we got the help. And I spend a lot of my time like sharing our experience to make other hotels being responsible. Because my question is, what is the value of the property without a destination? What is the value of the experience, client experience, without a destination? So I think it's time to have a roadmap together and go for it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This was really inspiring. I just want to know if there are any questions for Maria and for Annette at this point. Otherwise, there will be a short Q&A session after. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And that was just the peak of the ice. So there's much more that they could tell us. But now I would want also to give the floor, because this is an hybrid event. We also have companies and consultants from other countries. So I am aware that they are experts and SMEs coming from Greece and Ireland. And I would like to give the floor briefly to Marie Dunn, I hope I said it correctly, from Iragan Advisory Ireland. They have worked with 3 different companies during with the ISARS program, but I believe they're going to present us the experience with a company called Carry Aquaterra that has woven sustainability into their operations, customer offerings, and marketing with very good results. So Marie, if you can hear us,
I can.
The floor is yours.
Can you hear me? Can you see
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much, folks. And good morning to everyone from a very rainy, windy, wet Ireland. So I'm very jealous of you all in Mallorca this morning. So yeah, so my name is Mary Dunn. I work with Iragan Advisors, and we're a sustainability and business strategy consultancy here in Ireland. And yes, indeed, one of the many businesses that we worked with and had the privilege of supporting in this program was Carry Aquaterra Boat Tours. They are a small family-run marine ecotourism business based on Valentia Island off the southwest coast of Ireland. So we took the island part of iStars very seriously. So not only were we in Ireland, we found an even smaller island off the coast to work with on this project. So just a little bit about the business. Brendan Curtin and Elizabeth McCooey and their team, they offer guided boat tours around the Skellig coast and bring the heritage and marine biodiversity to life for their customers. If any of you have ever seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens, you'll already be familiar with their tours in that the filming location for Luke Skywalker's Island Hideaway was there, and it also happens to be, more importantly, a World Heritage Site. So you can imagine the complications and the environmental practicalities of operating within that area were already kind of built into Kerry Aqua's way of doing business. But what I'd say is, I suppose, while it was embedded in their ethos and in some of their actions, you know, they supported local beach cleanups. They were in the process of buying an eco-friendly boat when we started working with them. I suppose what the iStars program provided was this perfect structure to turn those instincts into kind of a measurable, strategic, sustainable journey. So I suppose our work began with them with a full audit of their current practices, and then using both the iStars monitoring tool and learning tool, the Irish government's climate toolkit for SMEs, and I suppose our own frameworks and experience. We co-developed with the team a sustainability action plan. We introduced formal environmental policies and new practices. We established systems for them to track their water, their waste, their energy use, and we established sustainability as a core marketing pillar. And finally, I suppose one of the other key actions was they identified along with his blue flag certification as a key sustainability goal. They're currently in the process of progressing towards becoming the first licensed boat tour operator in Ireland to achieve that. So I suppose in terms of kind of they're the actions that we took, if you like, and looking at the impacts. You know, Aquaterra, their small business has really gone from strength to strength in the last couple of years, and in no small part to the support of the iStars project. They've just completed their busiest season to date. They're planning expansion in terms of the number of tours they offer, and looking at buying another eco-friendly boat. They've received national recognition for their sustainability efforts. Elizabeth won Environmental Steward at the Villa Maria Women of Vision Awards in Ireland this year. They've also been finalists for other national awards, such as Sustainable Family Business of the Year. So for any of the businesses in the room, you know the impact of that even on your marketing and being able to kind of solidify that brand story. And I suppose one of the last things, and again, it comes back to what some of the panelists were saying there, that idea of sharing their knowledge and sharing their sustainability journey. Elizabeth in particular has been very keen and has been very involved in sharing their sustainability journey, their learnings, their best practices through their involvement in other national tourism and learning programs, such as through Fáilte Ireland, local tourism networks in Kerry, and the SkillNet program. So they're kind of, you know, passing it on to other SMEs in that way.
Thank you very much, Marie. Thank you for linking it so much, and really bravo for Kerry Aquaterra. This is pretty amazing. We won't be telling you how nice the weather here is, so courage with
Please
that.
don't.
Perfect. I will quickly want to give also the word to Yanis Kalodianidis from Mazi Travel back in Greece. I hope I said it correctly. Yanis, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, and I hope that you can see me as well.
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Excellent. Hello, nice to see you through my camera here, through my screen. We're based in Thessaloniki, Greece, where Mazi Travel, meaning together in Greek. Mazi is the word for together. So it was a great opportunity to participate to this program, and I'm really happy for this. It was a great opportunity to and a great help to develop our action plan as being a Travel Life certified company. Here it is. So it was a great help for the development and the implementation of our action plan. And also it was a great help came from our coach, Froso Dimitrakopoulou. and also the Greek team of the project. Irene, they have been of great help, all of them. It was an opportunity to actually what we did, we concluded in 4 different pillars. So the first pillar was it was related to our environmental responsibility. So we took care of the resources management, the waste reduction in the company. We developed several actions in CSR. And also we developed a roadmap for sustainable transport. So what we built, we created a driver's manual. So the statistics are coming now better and better regarding the fuel consumption and energy consumption in general. So our second pillar, it was about the sustainability supply chain and the product development. So we had the chance to get in contact with our main suppliers, and we had the opportunity to talk about sustainable practices and somehow to drag them towards this direction. Also,
Janice, quick note that we are running short on time. So
okay.
Thank you.
All right, very welcome. So yeah, there were lots of things that we did, and if you want me to be shorter, I mean, what I have to note it was that these kind of projects are very helpful, and the most helpful thing in all this journey through iStars programs, it was our connection and our input, and the input we had from our coaches, because what we need is advices, and we need to know the right ways to implement our practices, sustainable practices. So if you want to keep something from my participation in this talk, is that what we actually need us as SMEs is guiding and knowledge.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the certification. Well deserved.
Thank you
And
very much.
taking on your thoughts about the coaches, I would like to also give the floor now back in Ireland to David Gilroy from Smart Sustainable Business, who's been coaching SMEs that participate in iStars. David, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you have a few minutes.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
I'll be very brief. Yeah, it was fantastic to have the opportunity to participate in the program. I suppose there's always something for us as people who are health advisors to learn as well. But I worked with 2 companies, one quite similar to Mary's, except it was a small airline, a regional airline that serviced the islands off the island as well. So they're operating within special areas of conservation. They have large cultural considerations. So it's a very interesting opportunity to kind of take it as much beyond the environmental piece of sustainability and making it into the society, like focusing also on the societal impact of sustainability. I thought that was an interesting part, the stakeholder engagement piece. I felt it really benefited everybody involved, and even companies that weren't directly involved in the program benefited from the conversations that it initiated, and how my company, Air Iron Islands, was actually doing a lot of what didn't just kind of recognize its own level of sustainable activity through the stakeholder engagement and the messaging piece that it already had been participating in. But I do feel that it certainly enabled, as one of the speakers mentioned earlier on, it certainly enabled or encouraged people to participate in a program where sustainability might usually be seen as a kind of an add-on or another layer on top of the business and the resources that are necessary to apply to that. But it was fantastic. I would think that something that might be worth considering would be to facilitate monitoring into the future, because the last thing you would like to think is that once the program is finished, that the enthusiasm diminishes over time. So with a lot of certifications, obviously there's ongoing monitoring, and I think that it might benefit from that. But it's a fantastic program. I feel it really benefited people, benefited me personally. I felt the support we received from our national, or from Rebecca and the guys in Sustainable Network was really, really solid, really good. So I think by and large, the whole program, from start to finish, was excellent. And it really, in my opinion, really did what it set out to do.
Great. Thank you so much, Davy, and we take on this request, this final thought, duly noted. So these have just been 5 of the experiences. Now sum it up to 125, and you can get a picture of the dimension of what this project has had and will have. So I really want to thank participants, especially the ones that spoke today, for coming here. So it's clear that sustainability is not a trend anymore. It's a necessity, or what I take from what Demetra said, it's a new way of saying things. So with that, I would like to end this right table. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much to the panelists, to Lucia. And before giving the floor to the regional Ministry of Tourism of Mallorca, of the Council of Mallorca, José Marcial Rodríguez, just to inform you that you will find a QR after his speech. It's an event evaluation form that we really appreciate that you fulfill, okay? So now is the time for the closing remarks. So with all of you, José Marcial Rodríguez, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for me to be here. You know, here in the island, even we have a very good weather. Many of us are used to work early in the morning. And when you are in the policy system, you have many events to take care of. And now I would like to be here first, but you know, my agenda doesn't permit it to me. So good morning, everyone. It's an honor, as I said, to address you today at the Chamber of Commerce, a place where the driving force, talent, and the ambition of the tourism sector work together. First, I would like to thank to the host, the Responsible Tourism Foundation of Mallorca, and the Chamber of Commerce of Mallorca for the organization of this event, and of course, to the European partners in the consortium. Your collaboration has been fundamental to the success of this project and to build together a more resilient and sustainable tourism future for our island. Congratulations to all of you. This day has marked a major milestone for all of us. The successful conclusion for the European iStars project for sustainable tourism, launched in 2023. The project has 6 European partners, including the Responsible Tourism Foundation of Mallorca and the Mallorca Chamber of Commerce in Spain, and has been supported by 17 tourist SMEs with grants up to 5,600 per company for the adoption of green practice and skills. As everybody agrees, tourism has a significant and complex impact that affects all levels in our society. Therefore, respect and responsible tourism are no longer optional. They are the only valid strategy model from now on. And it's the essential tool that will allow us to protect and regenerate the qualities and values that makes Mallorca a very nice place and wonderful place, first of all, to live, and a wonderful place, of course, to visit. The pandemic demonstrates our vulnerability. For this reason, the iStar project was created to reverse this trend, encouraging all the SMEs to shift towards a more responsible and resilient model. With the collaboration of the European and co-financing for the European Union, we have provided direct and touchable support for 70 SMEs in 5 countries, including 70 in the Balearic Island. Sorry, it's 25 and 70 in the Balearic Island. Sorry for the mistake. This support consisted of grant of 5,600 to implement green solutions, from circularity plans or obtaining certification. iStar is essentially the engine that enables our SMEs to acquire the knowledge and the capital necessary to reduce their ecology footprint and increase their adaptability. Our commitment with this vision is unwavering. Hence, the importance of these fundings, which has represented a double opportunity for our sector. The Responsible Tourism Foundation of Mallorca and the Chamber of Commerce of Mallorca has been able to lead and challenge these funds to make them available for all the SMEs. These funds have allowed us to finance important solutions in circularity, waste audits, and social responsible strategies. Free and flexible trainings through the virtual platforms library with modular courses and energy and water management and responsible business practices. As you know, the tourism industry is dynamic. The new technologies advance demand us quick updates to our knowledge. Therefore, we must develop future strategy based on continuous training and knowledge. This project has success thanks to the collaboration and commitment of all the private sector. To the SMEs present here, I would like to say, continue taking advantage of this opportunity and investing in your future, in sustainability. Become the leaders that our island needs. I'm convinced that thanks to the cross-cutting initiative like iStars, and together we will achieve a more prosperous, stronger, and above all, a more responsible tourism ecosystem. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you learned a lot in this event. Thank you so much.